she was, as she says, born in a trunk in Stoneham. And we found that trunk, and we had it shipped in and are holding it backstage for photo ops after the show. The woman must have emerged singing and dancing, and she has never stopped. This season alone, Kathy St. George appeared in 107 shows. Her roles, large and small, span every decade, from the 80s when she made her Broadway debut in Fiddler on the Roof at Lincoln Center, to just this season when she circled back to Fiddler at North Shore Music Theater. Kathy has taken center stage as characters real and imagined. Name, Marilyn Monroe in Jackie, Doris Day in Definitely Doris, and of course, her signature, Judy Garland. In which Kathy not only incarnates this iconic performer physically, she sings the songs, of course, but she goes deep, illuminating the shadows behind that shiny, erratic surface and the poignant layers of need, loneliness, anger, and ambition beneath the almost manic determination to survive her demons and put on a show. At the end, we love her. That's Kathy. As part of any ensemble, her crack comic timing is a through line and her remarkable versatility. In Violet, there was a frisky, funny, tiny St. George who showed up as Zeppa. She could bump it with a trumpet, or a wimple as a singing nun in Sister Act. This season alone, in at least 4 productions from the North Shore to the South End, there was always a moment when she stepped out and into the spotlight in some unforgettable way, leaving us absolutely dazzled. In Urinetown, in a dual role, neither large enough to contain her outsized talent, she got some of the biggest laughs with a single line reading or the smallest bit of business. And how about that out-of-nowhere dance number in Speakeasy's Man of Nowhere? Kicked up her heels, leaping on and off a tabletop, and brought down the house. This requires remarkable stamina, vast interior resources, and huge talent, rooted in Kathy's obvious deep love of the music, which is her way into a character, and she's got the tools to make it stick. A great big voice that can belt, scat, ache, or croon, and her heartbreaking or lunatic way with a lyric. The same words and phrases recur regularly in describing Kathy St. George: scene stealer, showstopper, dynamo, lightning rod. She sounds downright dangerous. We're thrilled that though her career has taken her from Ogunquit to Vero Beach, Rochester to Louisville, and national tours all over the world, from Broadway to Canada, Russia, and Japan, Boston is her self-described artistic home, where she's performed on just about every stage in and out of town. We know her because she lets us. We love her because there isn't a pretentious bone in all 4 foot 11 inches of that adorable frame. And we hope to see her next season in any of the 300 shows in which she's appearing.
She's taller than me.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the recipient of this year's Elliot Norton Prize for Sustained Excellence, Miss Kathy St. George.
Thank you, Joy. And thank you to the Boston Theater Critics Association. You know, I think if I ever go looking for my heart's desire again, I won't look any farther than the Elliot Norton Awards. Because if it isn't here, I never really lost it to begin with. You know, I've been to other awards ceremonies, and most of them are very nice, and some of them are very beautiful, but all the same, all I kept saying to everybody was, I want to go to the Elliot Norton Awards. I want to go to the Elliot Norton Awards. And they sent me here. many of you, I've always known what I wanted to be when I grew up. Ever since I was in 2nd grade at St. Patrick's School in Stoneham, and I had Sister Marie Germain for my teacher, I knew. At 7 years old, I came home and I said, Mom, Dad, I'm going to be a 2nd grade teacher. And so I went to Salem State and I majored in elementary ed and I minored in music. One day, this is how it all began. One day I saw a postcard on a bulletin board at Salem and it said, accompanist wanted for singer new to Boston. The pay was pretty good, it was $10 a gig. So I started accompanying this singer around to all of her local auditions. And prior to that, I had never ever been in a theater. So it turned out her husband, Jeffrey Huberman, was the new theater director at the college. They were starting a theater major. And he said, hey, you want to audition for my first play, Wait Until Dark? And I need someone who's really small who can play the child. And I said, all right, I'll try it. Well, I cast. I loved it. It was like a whole new world. But I graduated and I got a job as, you guessed it, a 2nd grade teacher. And I started doing community theater. And with each show, I loved the theater more and more and more. And anybody here from the Quannapowitt Players of Reading? Okay, so in 1978, we did a production of Private Lives with Quannapowitt. And I won the Best Supporting Actress Award. And I came home, and I woke up my parents, and I said, Mom, Dad, I'm going to move to New York. I'm going to be an actress. And they said, that's nice, honey. Okay. Go to sleep. Go to bed. So I took a leave of absence from my teaching job, and I moved to New York City. Clueless, but optimistic. And the first place I lived was the YMCA on 34th Street. 3 bags, 2 bucks, 1 me. Oh, and I had so many, New York's expensive, people. I had so many survival jobs. One was I worked as Susan Lucci's stand-in on All My Children. And I remember thinking, this is the best thing ever. And then I saw another ad. I gotta stop answering these ads. It was in Backstage, and it said, work on Broadway this Christmas. So I took the job. I was an elf at Macy's. But it was the best gig ever. And then one time I worked with Sherry Lewis. I dressed up in a giant lamb chop costume. That was really good pay. And that was kind of the best gig ever. And then my last survival job was I delivered singing telegrams as a giant bumblebee.
Oh yeah, Kathy.
That was not the best thing ever. It was hot. Anyway, New York was fun. But I was so homesick. I wanted to come home. So I started making plans to move back home and go back to teaching. And one day a friend told me about these auditions. She said, they're doing a revival of Fiddler on the Roof at Lincoln Center, and they're looking for all shapes and all heights. So I said, you know what, I'm moving home. I'm done with this business. It's too unpredictable. Oh, what the heck, I'll go to one more audition. And 5 callbacks later, I was auditioning for Jerome Robbins. And I got the part. Superintendent of schools, I didn't want to quit teaching. But you know what? He said to me 3 words that I'll never forget. Go for it.
Yeah.
So I resigned from my teaching job in tears, and I started rehearsals at Lincoln Center the very next day. And I've been going for it ever since, damn it! Sharing the stage with so many of you has enriched my life beyond measure. As Judy Garland would say, I think you're all really, really marvelous. You're really marvelous, all of you. It's so marvelous. Look how our community has grown. Johnny Kuntz, I hear you laughing. Look at all of us here tonight. I love being with my people. You are my people.
You look at that.
And very few things bring me greater joy than seeing your glorious work on all of our Boston stages. So it would take all night. I gotta wrap up, I have 5 minutes. It would take all night to thank each and every one of the funny, generous, kind, and talented actors, musicians, designers, and technicians. To Scott Edmiston, Paul Daniel, Elise Robbins, and so many of my dear beloved friends. I can't list them all, I only have 1 more minute. But your friendship, love, and artistry has brought me so much joy. Thank you to my wonderful husband, Chris. My friends and family, and especially my mom and dad, who loved and encouraged me. And Dad, it all turned out okay. I have a pension. This moment is something I will never, ever forget. Because being a part of the Boston theater community, this is the best thing ever. So, to the inspiring and beautiful new generation of theater artists, I have 3 words to pass along. Go for it.